They're both waiting on the... And there they are. Starcrawl is the first one stream delay wise to get going. There's going to be about a 5-second delay throughout this race. So the first thing that they have to do in the speedrun... Oh no! IndDragon got blocked by the NPC, which is going to lose him like 5 seconds. So what they're doing here is, you can see on IndDragon's and Starcrawl stream, they're doing what's called the equipment glitch. Equipment glitch is what happens when you press L and confirm or R and confirm at the same time. When you do that, you get access to equipment that is equal to the item ID value in memory to the item that you're equipping first. So basically, the way it works is that when you have memory set, your memory, sorry about that. Your memory in the game, each item has memory in the RAM. What the RAM is it's what actually tells the game what to do. And in this game, weapons and armor have ID values. They don't share an ID table, because that wouldn't make sense, because you'd never have armor and weapons in the same slot. And there are more weapons than there are armor. So they put them on 2 separate tables. So all armor pieces and all weapon pieces are on the table. Or are on different tables. And so for this instance, the hammer, probably the worst weapon in the entire game, has a corresponding ID value with the knight's armor, which is the 3rd best armor in the game. It gives us enough defense to basically not take damage from this part of the game. We're going to be taking 1 or 2 damage for basically any non-boss, or basically any non-crit, because crits ignore armor. So the second equipment glitch that we're going to do is we're actually going to be equipping the leather cap to our weapon slot. And what that does is turn it into the Judgment Staff. And the Judgment Staff is the most powerful magical staff in the game that allows us to cast the most powerful spell in the game, Flare. So if you use a Judgment Staff, you get access to Flare. If you attack with it, you get an okay attack. It allows all of our characters to do about 100 damage, give or take, depending on their initial stats. Stats in this game are semi-random within ranges, with the exception of health. So like the damage ranges in this first fight are pretty crazy, especially with crits. And as you can see, that goes down in 3 hits, but Starcrawl's might go down in 4. And so now they're done with the first mission of the game, which is to Garland. We'll have a little bit of an intermission. IndDragPack is 14th on the leaderboard right now, with a PB set 3 days ago. Starcrawl. Don't actually see. Oh. Huh. No. That's the way that I showed. Okay, that should work. I had to change my stream mode settings.
Oh, alright. Sorry, yeah. I came in a little late, probably causing you some issues.
Fine. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear anything, or you couldn't hear me. Live stream mode on. Yeah, I don't see a P for Starcrawl anywhere. Interesting.
I don't believe he submitted his, but I know he's been running in the 130, the 133 range.
Okay, so he's got like an average. So he's got a time that can basically.
Definitely.
Oh, already, but in 2 encounters before the bridge. I've actually never seen 2 encounters.
Same. I was just about to
But
bring that
oh,
up.
3. But to be fair, I believe he was walking on the forest. So encounter rates in this game, encounters are completely random. There's no step route in this, unlike Final Fantasy 1 NES, and I think PlayStation, maybe GBA, you could in theory step route, but it would like be very difficult. So every time you input, there in Drayden is you can take a weird path. But anytime you make an input, Final Fantasy 1, it increases the RNG value, and anytime you move, it increases your step value again, and then it checks to the tile rather than just checking a encounter table. So different tiles have different encounter rates, and planes have the lowest or the second lowest. It's possible that the swamp has lower, but it's safest to just stay on the green tiles throughout the run.
You wanna stay in as much fields as you can. That's for sure.
They also didn't. No, that might not be this game, but they sometimes have better encounter Final Fantasy games, like where just they're safer. Usually, a Final Fantasy game will tell you that it's safest to stay on the road or safest to stay on the plains, on the world map. They'll give you that little hint.
Yeah, docks for sure. The little white tiles where you
dots have no
park.
encounter.
We'll have no. So that's a nice little tidbit.
And you'll see that throughout the run when they land on their boat that they'll be maximizing their time on the dot tiles if they're playing safer. You can save frames by moving further in the boat. The boat has the fastest movement speed that they have access to while they are using it. Beyond that, otherwise it's just running maps. The world map movement never speeds up, but everywhere else you get a dash. These remakes are pretty much known for making dashing better.
It looks like In got a 6 Sahagin ambush there.
Yeah, they're both IndDragPack. They both have had different issues at different points.
But that's how PSP goes. It's,
This rate, even though it looks like, oh man, IndDragPack's already landed with his boat on the next continent, it really doesn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, anything can really happen from this point.
And Starcrawl is now moving his boat. Like for example, a 7 Warg Wolf ambush. Like if Starcrawl doesn't get an encounter on his way to the Elfheim continent, he's golden. Well, he does get one, but usually you don't get one because the ocean actually is a fairly low encounter rate. It just has the worst encounters that you can get. So they really don't want to be spending more time than they have to on the ocean. You'll see that they are, well, I thought that they were trying to maximize their time on the plains, but sometimes it doesn't look like they are. One of the things that definitely can separate runners is just based on their movement.
Yeah, although it seems to be they're heading through quite some forest, if they get less encounters, they'll save a few frames, fewer steps, but planes are always safe.
So basically, the first part of this game is a giant fetch quest. They're trying to access they can only access a portion of the world map right now, which is everything inside of a circle continent, basically. Everything that encompasses Pravoka, Chaos Shrine, the Elfin continent, the ruined castle, as well as Hoya's Cave and all that. The only thing that you can't access, you can't even access this entire continent yet because you don't have the canoe. But we never do go to the ruined castle. That's pretty much just a casual only location with some loot once you get the Mystic Key and the canoe. And right now they are going to grab the Mystic Crown. Basically, if you played through this game casually with no guide and no knowledge, you would basically stumble around until you found an NPC that told you what to do. There are plenty of them, but they all tell you a different thing to do. So, for example, if you were first to go to Matoya's cave, you would find out that you need to find her crystal eye, but she has no idea where it is. So, you keep wandering around. Then you're told that there's some dark inn in a castle, and he tells you that he wants a crown. And then, so you go get this crown from the Marsh Cave, and then you have to take the crown to the Dark King. He reveals himself to be Astos, the Dark Elf, and then you kill him for the Crystal Eye to get the Jolt Tonic, to wake up the Elven Prince for the Mystic Key, so that you can get the TNT, so that you can give that to the dwarves, so that you can blow up the planet, basically. Well, not the planet. You get to blow up one little part. But I mean, it is kind of weird.
Part of a continent.
You do take out like an entire like shelf of like a continent, so that's kind of weird that there's TNT powerful enough to do that. But as you can see on both their sides, they're now matched. That they use Judgment Staff instead of just attacking, and they did that in the Pirates fight as well. And like I said earlier, that casts Flare.
It looked like Starcrawl opted not to heal before Pisco Demon's there, and he took some damage to his Black Mage. That might affect his XP a little bit later on.
Yeah, so basically, there's two options you can do for that fight. Some runners will full heal their entire party. Some runners will only full heal the mages. Some runners, though, will just choose not to full heal at all. That's generally not a good option. Your mages do need to be level 19 in this run to get access to Teleport, Healara, and Haste, which are, as you found out, not the only one of those spells that's required is Healara. As it turns out, you don't need Haste to win, but it definitely helps, and you spend about half as much time in Chaos Haste.
And Teleport itself saves you a lot of time and movement.
Yeah,
both in Sunken Shrine and the towns to follow.
Yeah, in the towns we use it because it's just faster to menu in, and it sets up your menu for battles anyway. And in basically the dungeon that we use it in, which is Sunken Shrine, it saves us a lot of walking in probably one of the worst encounters areas in the game. Just as bad as the ocean, which made sense since it's under the ocean. It's got 3 unrunnables and just some really bad encounters to try to run away from.
Absolutely.
So both of our racers are on Astos. Like we said, them being on the same fight, they may as well be tied. And
Starcrawl avoided death there, actually, so that was pretty nice. Asto can cast a spell called Death, which can insta-kill a party member, or has a chance to at least. Luckily, it didn't insta-kill anyone, and he was able to get that early kill on Astos. If it did insta-kill someone, you'd most likely have to take another.
well,
yeah.
if Astos deaths a warrior or a thief, it's not really a big deal. You just have to go into the menu and resurrect them. They don't need any experience in this run. Experience helps, but they could probably do this just based on the experience they get from bosses alone. Because the only stat that really matters is health. Because we're going to be equipping a weapon later that is about twice as powerful as Excalibur, and probably about 50% more powerful than a Matt's health Ultima Blade. So it's an absurdly powerful weapon, and it's only available in this version of the game, and we get access to it in 20 minutes. in 20 game time. So
Normally you wouldn't be able to get this item or this many multiples of it. It's normally found in a bonus dungeon, but
it's
through
in
the
fact
equipment glitch.
It's in fact
Gain
the
ability.
reward for killing the final super boss of this game in its final form, which means that you have to do all of the puzzles in Labyrinth of Time correctly, and in the time limit to be able to get access to the final form of Chronodia, which is an absurdly difficult fight for many, many reasons. The least of which is the fight's ability to just turn off your abilities. It just seals an ability every turn. So it's an extremely difficult, but honestly, it's an extremely fun fight. So
Oh, absolutely.
if you have access to the PSP version, you're doing yourself a disfavor by not playing the bonus dungeons. If only because they have amazing music for the bosses. We won't get to
Starcrawl
hear
opted
any of those
to
remixes, unfortunately.
Starcrawl opted to park on the far left side of the dock there, but didn't use the dock tiles to his
Yeah,
advantage.
IndDragPack did that as well. IndDragPack parked earlier on the dock and then didn't walk on the dock tiles. I don't know if either of these runners did a I don't know if either of these runners have done a tournament race before, because that might be part of it. I don't know if how long IndDragPack's been running this game. I've only been running this game for about 5 months.
And yeah, I think I'm about to skip over to like 9. But I know IndDrag has been doing it very recently. He me and him raced earlier last week, and he's got a pretty good race time. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, I mean, getting a race time in this game is not too difficult. It's getting that race time consistent that's difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing that you might see them do, and we actually briefly mentioned it. We mentioned that you would sometimes that your options are heal everyone or just heal the mages. The reason why you would just heal the mages in this game is because our strat for grinding is to grind on Evil Eye, and Evil Eye has a Thundara spell that he casts semi-regularly as his first spell. And what it does is it deals about 70 damage, approximately, anywhere from 70 to 80. And so we want our our warrior and our thief to die on that fight. And
So
IndDragPack is making us listen to the poison sound, which is nowhere near as bad on NES, but it's still there. So Thundara will just kill those two is the plan, and then we can level up our black mage and our white mage very quickly. Also, Starcrawl is onto his third menu, which is to create the. He's having a little bit of trouble with it.
it's definitely one of the harder menus.
It's just a lot of menuing.
Mm-hmm. It's the longest one by far so far.
I think he was having a hard time figuring out where he's supposed to start on it.
Mm.
But now he's got it. So, Beastly, the Thieves Armlet. The reason why we equip this over the Knight's Armor, over having 3 Knight's Armors, is because it gives us agility, and agility is what factors into our run speed, our run percentage. And the Thieves Robes are the best equipment that we have access to for that right now. That also gives us decent stats. So it also gives us defense and evasion, and it is a better defensive equipment than the Knight's Armor because of the evasion stat. So evasion reduces the number of hits, and defense reduces the amount of damage. So they're also both grabbing golden needles, and that's so that they don't die to paralyzing. Both opted just by 11. In most runs, you'll only use like 2. So
Yeah, it's the same speed to menu for 11 than it is to 2, so it doesn't really matter. It always helps to have a little more just in case. And next up, they'll be picking up the nitro powder, which is the last item in this incredibly long fetch quest to help blow up a section of a continent.
Yep.
And that will give them access to the remainder of the Final Fantasy 1 world.
Which is, well, it gives them access. It gives them access to the part that they can finish. Basically, the game is somewhat open-ended, but only in discovering what you're supposed to do. So basically, the game, no matter where you go, you can really only access 2 cities from here, and that's Melmond and Crescent Lake. If you somehow end up at Crescent Lake, I feel very bad for you, because you were probably lost for quite a while. Pretty much as soon as you leave this section of the continent, you run into Melmond, which is the town that kind of started the whole journey. I don't know what Starcrawl was doing there. I feel like he's not fully confident on his mapping. But he's on his right way now. So basically you have to do the Earth Crystal first, because the stages won't give you the canoe unless you have restored the land's power or whatever, just by killing Lich. You have to go through this really, really frustrating series of events just to get to Lich as well. This game likes to make you fetch things. So basically, if you were to take a turn slightly different than towards the Earth Cavern, you run into a giant golem who wants a ruby to eat, and to the Earth Cavern is where that is. You have to go get that so that you can get the Earth Rod so that you can actually beat Lich. So you have to go through the Earth Cavern 1.5 times. Very frustrating because the dungeon is dreadfully boring and you can't actually die in it. So it's just you hold and run, or sometimes attacking.
Yeah, it's almost a little troll they put in the game. Like, oh, here, go halfway through this dungeon, come out, and then do the whole thing again.
Well, it's supposed to be your hint that there's like, it's supposed to be the first time that like somebody mentions the elemental fiends, unless you ended up at Crescent Lake. It's just supposed to be the vampires basically supposed to tell you that like, oh man, yeah, I'm not the final boss, it's actually this guy. But you won't get to him because haha, he's sealed away.
So after singing that part of the continent and for some reason not drowning even though you're underneath the water, you continue on to Melmond where we'll be doing the equipment glitch for the weapon they'll be using for the rest of the game.
Yeah, basically, unless you're doing some weird lost stage or strats like we saw the other day, you're gonna be using the Barbarian Sword on all 4 characters for the entire game. I did see an interesting strat where you equip the Lost Stager onto a Black Mage, and then you run away with him for the entire game because it's still like he just is basically your run bot that gives 15 agility on just that one piece of equipment. So I thought that was interesting.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah, it was really unique, but I thought that it also means that your Black Mage always goes first. So it was very interesting alternate strategy. Ultimately, did pay off enough. So this menu, Starcrawl seems to be getting a little bit lost on it. He has to. I feel like he doesn't know how to do the. Or did he? Okay, he's doing the formation change. So basically, you can only use the gauntlets on the Black Mage, which means only equipment glitch with the
Warrior.
With the warrior, yeah. So he has to actually equip and then unequip the Barbarian Sword here.
You see me, the Warrior is the only character that can actually equip the Barbarian Sword. You can actually take one off of another character, put it on him, and then equipment glitch back onto that character.
He also just screwed up the menu as well. And the reason why is the equipment glitch doesn't actually like dupe. So what it does is it actually just looks at your inventory and it says Well, you don't have one of this, and the game, and you're telling me you do. So here's one of it. So if you have one in your inventory, it just equips this the equipment. And so what happened there is that he unequipped, then duped or did the equipment glitch, which when you have a piece of equipment already, the equipment glitch just raw equips. So the equipment glitch duplicates stations and raw equips something.
We saw the first safety save there from Ind. The third floor of this cavern actually is the one that can kill you.
Yeah.
And deeper on, but there's
It's
encounters like Pisco demons. The big encounter that you want to look out for is a cockatrice encounter because they can petrify you
so
and end your
it,
game.
it's basically the pistol demons aren't actually a threat anymore because your barbarian swords will cleave through them. Cockatrice ambushes can happen. They're very rare, but they can happen. And if they do, then you will probably die. Because cockatrices stone you on attack, and stone is instant death, basically.
Mm.
It's even a little bit worse than instant death because you can't heal it with Phoenix down. You have to get gold needles to heal it.
And there's always the option of a paralyzed lock. Yeah, so it's in race settings. It's a nice idea to save.
Oh,
IndDragon picks up the Star Ruby, and that'll then get him to the next part of his fetch quest.
so confused about why he saved and reset there. Is that like a weird like reset in the step count thing?
Perhaps. Maybe he was afraid of being paralyzed.
Did he
I mean, he saved at Star Ruby.
and then reloaded at Star Rudy? Like, right away?
Yeah.
I looked away for like half a second.
Yeah, he got a spirit encounter, it looked like. But, I mean, spirits are a little more difficult to run from, but he could have just been nervous. Not gonna be a huge time loss.
So yeah, right now they are just moving through. Yeah, I think it's. I want to say it was to reset step count, but I don't think that that's actually worth it. That he is taking a lot of safety precaution. But yeah, right now they're basically just backtracking to go grab the Earth Rod, and that takes a little bit of time. An average race time to get back the Earth Rod is about 30 minutes. Like to get the Earth Rod back, and then kill and lich at about 35. Really, really, really good. Like world record pace runs will already be going back to lich. They'll probably be on like floor 3 or 4 right now.
Yeah.
But we are not. You should not expect those in any of these races unless the racer gets very lucky.
I believe world record pace for Lich is below 32.
Yeah.
A 32 Lich is a great time.
Or at least below what's currently on the leaderboards, I should say.
Yes.
But yeah, we're basically looking at seeing what they can get. Basically, an average time for this run is about an hour and a half to an hour 35. A really, really great time for this is sub 130, almost as low as 125.
Mm-hmm. Seems Starcrawl's getting a lot of encounters, but he should be able to make up that time. It all really just comes down to RNG when it comes to races like these, and they're not that far off from each other.
Doubles was a 30? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you're probably killing Lich in about 30 minutes if you're on world record. And even then, that's not necessarily the only indicator. Like, I've had a 35 Lich and still had like a best possible time of sub 120. Like, this game's got a lot of RNG to it. Like, I think my best possible is down to like 105 or something.
Yeah, some of best becomes ridiculous the more you run this game.
I think it would actually be very interesting since we don't have task tools if somebody actually ended up doing a segmented run of this game. That would actually be somewhat neat. Now, one small interest in fact is this game, we do allow this game to be ran on emulator, and that's because there really isn't a difference between emulator and digital download of it, or even just a digital like install of this. A lot of runners will have their will have an official UMD of the game, but then have a ISO installed into their PSP with a soft mod, allowing them to run the game.
Yeah, if you were to run it on the actual disc, you'd lose about 3 minutes in load time, I believe it is.
No, it's actually somewhat closer to about 7 to 8 minutes of loading.
7 to 8, wow.
Yeah, UMD is an absolutely awful disc type. It was Sony's attempt to stop burning discs, but then they just made it possible to download things anyway, so it didn't really matter.
They give it the good old college try.
I mean, they made like the worst portable disc type that's ever graced the earth. So
it was almost like a cartridge.
well, no, it was. It came in a little cartridge, lot thin, and it only worked inside of that cartridge box. It was bad. It's really bad. Probably the biggest problem that the PSP has is that it's the first PSP had like the issue of some of the worst format like data formatting ever. And then the Vita has the problem of like, I don't want to buy a new console every time I want to buy memory because it's that expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And discs just aren't even not a good idea in the first place to use for portable systems.
Yeah, it's all the moving and everything.
So that went really well. He got a 9 zombie ambush and got 0 paralyzes. And then Starcrawl goes into an 8 ambush and gets a paralyze already.
Really a rare occurrence there. It was kind of outrageous.
Oh, opting to run as well. That's pretty dangerous. So what could happen here? Okay, he ran away. So what could have happened is that he could have actually had a stun lock occurred there. And if the game stuns all of your characters, you can't run or take actions. And every time they attack, they have a chance to reapply the paralyzation.
Yeah,
so you can just stay. You can just stay in there infinitely.
Sigma, I believe when I first got my PSP, I tried to pull the disc out of its cartridge as well. Just didn't feel right.
Yeah. I just thought the Switch is like, well, you know, SD cards can be like 256 gigabytes for like $0. So why don't we just
Yeah.
use those now for our game cartridges? And that's what they're doing. They're literally just SD cards. I'm really curious as to how quickly we get pirated Switch game.
Yeah.
Like it's got a USB-C connection and SD cards like as its like data. Like it's gonna get cracked so quickly.
Yeah, they're really begging for it.
Starcrawl doesn't seem to be that confident with his dungeon maps.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely getting a little bit lost, and this is not the dungeon yet lost. It has a fairly high encounter. I think all of the elemental dungeons, even if we
I think
get
if
rid of them.
I think if we were to pick one of the dungeons though that has one of the hardest paths to remember, this would be up there.
Well, I mean, at the same time, not really, because it's got multiple paths. Like you can just,
Yeah.
you can basically, as long as you know the general, like I am here and dungeon door is here, you shouldn't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's what separates runners. Yeah, like for example,
Yeah.
he shouldn't go down ever. The dungeon door is in the top left for this map.
In killing the first of the elementals, he killed Lich.
Yeah, Lich, honestly, because I was focused on talking about like
Yeah.
Starcrawl. Lich is actually the most dangerous boss in this entire thing besides Chaos. He has Blizzara as his first spell cast, and Blizzara at this point in the game will just kill us. Because we're not high enough level yet, and we're keeping our warrior and our thief lower level, or sorry, lower HP. He actually run the risk of dying to that encounter, which is why people save before.
Yeah, he's a very big run killer.
Yeah, when you're just going for the best time, generally would just that.
Mm-hmm.
Like your run, you wouldn't do a safety save. It would be pretty silly to just do a safety save.
Ind is now heading off to collect the canoe so he can start the next dungeon in the route.
Yeah, if you didn't have to kill Lich to get the canoe, you could access any dungeon in any order, but they do require you to kill Lich. Which is cool, because he is like a really like big sprite. They really made sure that he's flashy to look like the flashy like villain to.
Hmm. Yeah, as Sigma brought up,
Oh yeah.
Ind's warrior's health is very high.
So basically the best values is about want to have like over 300, as close to 400 as you get for your white wizard and your knight. Just because it's going to make it very, very safe on the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his thief actually looks like he has more health than the white mage. I don't know if the thief has gotten more experience at some point, or if that's just a really good stat growth.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched his white mage die yet, so.
You basically want your thief and your black mage to have more than about 250 health in the best case scenario. Now, that generally doesn't happen, and that's because they've just got terrible stat growth. So you buy giant taunts to make up for it. And right now they're gonna be doing another equipment glitch for the black garb. Black garb gives 10 agility and some additional stats, and IndDragPack has opted to equip it onto 3 characters instead of 4. You could equip it to the warrior, but that would just take an absolutely insane amount of menuing. Basically, nobody else can equip the equipment that is required to glitch that on, and have to Ron equip, then unequip. Then you'd have to Ron equip from an armor slot to each of his slots individually, and just keep repeating that process. It would probably take you a good 2 minutes. So don't do it. Yeah, the black mage seems to be a little stunted in time.
Yeah, as always. Starcrawl pulling up the map.
Yeah, Starcrawl is completely going the wrong way. He needs to go down and to the right, the left.
It is a hard way to. It's a hard path to get in mind. Normally, you look for visual cues. There's 2 continents on your way.
Yeah,
Down there,
when you're going when you leave. So the way you're supposed to do is when you leave, you go south. You leave until a peninsula leaves, and then a little bit of ground shows up underneath, and then you go left, and you should hit the port for Crescent Lake. It's possible that I'm breaking up on your guys' end. I have to use a noise gate. I have to use a noise gate because otherwise you guys hear static constantly rather than just when I'm talking.
Starcrawl is having some serious trouble with the map right here, but hopefully he'll get a hold of it soon.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a pretty major difference between top tier red. Like that's kind of like the big difference between. That's why this game isn't just like free based on RNG. Like you can't just stumble into a good time. You do have to know what you're doing.
In's coming up on Ice Cavern here. Another seriously dangerous dungeon.
And honestly, now I know where he is, but he is. It looks like he's trying to get to Crescent Lake through the continent. Ended up in Lifespring Grotto. Well, I mean, you say poor star, but like I'm just gonna say, like if he doesn't know where to go, it's not so much a poor, like he doesn't realize that the world map wraps around, I guess. Like that's almost what it seems like. He's like not going to the left because he doesn't realize that the world map wraps. Which I mean, I'd say the. Like, I hate to say this, but like the bare minimum is that you should know, like if you know the maps. Is this Final Fantasy Remastered stuff? This is Final Fantasy 1 PSP, yes. The Anniversary Edition. It's loosely based off of the Dawn of Souls version of the game. It has all of the remake dungeons. Oh, he's found his way. There we go.
There, that's good.
The 20th Anniversary Edition has all the dungeons from Dawn of Souls, as well as those dungeons having the bosses in them have a new remixed music. It's exclusive to this version.
And in itself, it has that one additional dungeon where you play Barbarian.
It also has an entire dungeon that has technically 7 bosses, but
yeah,
it's one boss that has 7 different combinations. We won't be going anywhere near that fight, or any of the bonus dungeons. Just not worth our time because we already have the Barbarian Sword.
In taking the safe route here, that tile he stepped on that he saved right before is a spike tile, which means it's always an encounter.
White Dragons. We haven't actually talked about how dangerous this dungeon he's in is. It's filled with undead encounters, fast undead too. So they are gonna try to, stun you, and they're fast and hard to run away from. So he just opted to Judgment Staff, which is what you should do if you're in the lead when you see a giant pack like that. So he's gonna save here as well, probably just to make sure if he falls down, he can load and not lose as much time. The other things that could kill you here are Black Wizards. Black Wizards can cast Faraga, and Faraga will just wipe the party at this point. White Dragons, if there's 2 of them and they ambush you, they can both cast Ice Storm, and that will kill you. Yeah, his Black Mage just has no health, so that Black Mage was not going to survive that. Starcrawl in the canoe now.
Evil Eye is what they're going to be grinding XP on also.
Yeah, it's just it gives a lot of experience. You're not really supposed to be here yet. You're supposed to casually go to Marilith first, and then come to the Ice Cavern to grab the Levy Stone to get the airship. Casually, all of those sages tell you almost everything you need to know to beat the game. And they all give you a hint as to the different things you need to complete the game. You missed the whole PSP thing? Oh, yeah, so it's the GBA version with an extra dungeon, basically. And that extra dungeon is what has the Berserker sword. Sorry, the Barbarian sword. And the Barbarian sword is just twice as good as any other sword in the game, really.
Yeah, so In's grinding out to level 18 and a half on both of his mages here. His Black Mage is going to be a little lower, so he's going to be spending a little more time on it. Yeah. But you want to get him to about 18 and a half, so by the time you can buy the spells, you'll be 19.
Yeah. The spells are all level 4, I believe, and those are Teleport, Haste, and Healara. And Teleport and Healara, Teleport is only castable by a Black Wizard. And the upgrade gives us just enough stats to be worth it. Plus, there's some equipment in the Citadel of Trials that we can use to glitch onto our White Mage to make Healara as good as Healaga, basically. We get access to the Golden Staff, which is the best staff in the game for magic stat. Judgment Staff being the best. They're basically serve two different purposes. Golden Rod, though, doesn't cast flares. Kind of slightly worse. There's actually another piece of equipment in the game that does cast flare, and that's the Ragnarok, but there's no easy way to glitch it on. We unfortunately don't get to see any Ragnarok uses, although that would have been cool.
Yeah, definitely.
In some way, it would almost be cool if we didn't have access to the Barbarian Sword this early, but we still had access to cool glitches. So there's one Petrify, so he should probably cast Judgment Staff here. So there's that Dark Wizard, but it was a preemptive, not an ambush. Okay, so he is opting to use Judgment Staff.
Also, I don't think we mentioned in this dungeon there's a rare chance of getting Ice Gigas.
Oh right, yeah. There's a fairly rare chance of getting an Ice Gigas wolf encounter, and it's just annoying to kill. Less annoying here because you can't get like 5 wolves, but it's still unrunnable. It's just extremely rare to see, or at least it feels that way.
Yeah.
I believe it can only appear on some of the floors, so. And there it is, first turn. Stoned Black Mage is good. So Stone does count as dead for experience purposes. So IndDragPack is now has left the Ice Cavern, left the river, is now going to pick up his airship. Starcrawl didn't heal up his mages. That could, if Evil Eye gets a lucky like speed roll, he could go faster than the two mages. Very rare, but it can happen. It doesn't look like it will, but I would not have taken that risk of not healing up.
Yeah, so although his warrior is stoned and technically not dead, he won't gain any XP for the battle because he is.
Yeah.
So it is alright to leave him petrified. After In picks up the airship here, he'll be heading to the Citadel of Trials, which will get him the Rat's Tail to give him the class upgrades. Recently in these races, I've been seeing safety saves before they walk through the desert there, in case of sandworm encounters.
Yeah, so death works like insta death is strange in this game. You don't protect against insta death with anything, but you protect against the element. And there's two different insta death elements: earth and darkness death. The ribbon protects against both, and there are equipments that would protect you against one but not the other. It's just very strange, Toden, and it's from the original game where Earthquake was an earth elemental spell that caused death. So there's very strange oddities in this game. It's an earth elemental spell that causes death. It's very strange.
But yeah, so that sandworm could have cast Earthquake and killed the team. Luckily, you can get away from it pretty quickly. If it was an ambush, it would be a little more difficult. Citadel of Trials itself is essentially a set of puzzles with teleporters. But the good rule of thumb is that it's always the bottommost, rightmost. In accidentally running from Minotaur zombies. Minotaur zombies are an unrunnable combat in Citadel of Trials, and
so this is why you barbarian sword encounters of 3 generally. Actually, you had to use 2 casts of Judgment Staff to kill those Minotaur zombies. They're actually fairly tough enemies for even this part of the game in this party, and spells don't scale as well as a giant sword.
yeah.
Although it's very, very rare to see it under, like, damage like that. The Nightmare is technically runnable, but it's very fast for the equipment in the party currently. The next time that we see Nightmares, we will be able to run away from them. We'll have better equipment. We'll have equipment that is plus 15 ability, I believe it is, for the survival vest. It might be
So.
or it might be less. A lot.
Yeah, it allows you to run from them. Really nice. The Citadel of Trials will also have a spike tile right before the teleport out, and that will be zombie dragons. That's normally where you look to hit level 19 if you have not hit it before.
And sometimes you'll, like, some runners will go after Merilith to go get their spells, in which case they definitely be the right level.
Starcrawl having to use the world map again. He seems to be having a rough time with airship routing for sure. Back when I first started running this, you actually went and did Citadel of Trials before the canoe. Or I mean, before the airship, and
Yeah, I was about to say, you
drive all the way
can't
around
actually do that before canoe.
not before canoe, but you drive around and it was it's
Basically,
slightly longer.
it's very slightly longer, but when you're in the airship, you can't get encounters, so
It's definitely worth getting.
basically the thought process was that well, actually, you don't get many encounters on the ocean, and then you have to walk a longer distance. Basically, they figured out that it's still a slightly shorter walk because you're using the ship for part of it. And then you have the airship already. Like, then you can go from here and you can fly and grab your spells and grab your spells. You can grab your actual class change, because you can't actually get the class change without the airship. So you have to fly back here, grab your airship anyway. So now they're grabbing their class change, so now they are a knight, a ninja, a white, and a black wizard.
Starcrawl's trying to land here. I think that one is one of the hardest ones to learn where to land.
Yeah.
Luckily, he got it pretty quickly, but
So
it's essentially the only spot on that continent where you can land the airship to get to the Citadel.
So now that we are, honestly, we're into a section of the game where they're just going to be picking up some spells. They're going to be picking up those 3 spells we've mentioned: Haste, Teleport, Heal Aura. The reason that we get this party, and it's kind of funny, this is the only version of the game that runs a thief. The only category. This is also the only category that runs the default party and doesn't run any run mages, with the exception of the new Ness route, which runs. Oh no. New Ness route, yeah, new Ness route is 2 warriors, a black mage, and a corpse. And so basically the thought process behind this is the warrior is what we need to get the barbarian sword, because the gauntlet is the steel gloves are only equipable by a warrior. The steel gloves are what do the equipment touch warrior. And so without the warrior, we wouldn't have barbarian sword, and there isn't anything that comes anywhere close to the damage of it. The next reason that we take a thief is actually because when you have access to all the equipment in the game, the thief is the best character. His ability to hit a lot is, when it comes to the damage formula, is better than just hitting harder. There's a hard damage cap on each hit that you do. So it's better to have more hits than more damage in the game if you have a lot of damage. So the thief just is a better damage dealer when you can give him the best weapon in the game. Normally the warrior's advantage over the thief damage-wise is his ability to equip better equipment, but he loses that advantage here. We take the black mage because teleport and haste saves us a little bit of time over the course of the run. Primarily, it just makes it possible to kill chaos fast enough that our white mage doesn't run out of HP. And we take a white mage because it's got the best magic stat, and we need a really, really good healer for our low-level party. That's basically the reasons that we take this. So right now, IndDragPack is walking through the Mayorless dungeon, Mount Gulag, and Mount Gulag has an interesting mechanic of lava tiles that deal damage to you. Those tiles cannot have encounters at all.
So they'll be stepping on them as much as they can.
Yeah. And then we're going to see them cast Hilara. Just to help their party. Most runners will do it the moment they step off the lava in this last part of the dungeon. Because...
Just in case, there's always the chance of running into a Hellhound ambush, or...
There's Hellhounds, there's Hellhounds, which are usually preemptives, but can sometimes ambush you, and are hard to run away from if they're not preemptive. There's also Red Dragons. And you actually cast Fura, which is rare. But at this point in the game, you're fully healed up, you've got decent health pools, you're not going to die to Fura. It is not the same issue that Blizzara was with Lich.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting in these games that there's always an Earth Elemental Crystal, but there's never an Ice Elemental Crystal. Either covered by the Water boss cast in Blizzara, or the Earth boss does. It's always Ice is always left out, and Earth is like very underrepresented by spells in the series. Very funny that there is an Earth Elemental Crystal, and yet it's so underrepresented spell-wise.
Absolutely.
Like, I actually don't think you can learn an Earth Elemental ability in your party. Is how underrepresented it was in this game. Oh, the one is stuck. Oh, weird. I had to cut Starcrawl's. I had to crop Starcrawl's stuff like way earlier. There it is. Yes, found his class sheet.
And we'll be picking up Fairy Bottle here, which is part of the next fetch quest to get into Sunken Shrine. You'll be buying the Fairy Bottle, releasing the fairy, and then meeting the fairy and getting Oxyale, which will allow you to breathe underwater, which allows you to go through Sunken Shrine.
Yeah, I was supposed to be so like, this race was supposed to start at 6, but Starcrawl apparently had OBS issues. I didn't have internet for 6 hours-ish. 5-6 hours. At about 1:30, my internet just kind of died. Apparently, maintenance.
Quite terrible.
So I didn't get access to it until just after 7. Now our here's class change.
Yes, he did.
Oh yes, yeah. About the difference. So this is actually going to be the first time that we use teleport, if he decides to use it. Some runners will just walk out. Some runners will choose to teleport here. The reason why is this just,
here, yeah.
It
you go, sorry.
basically the exact same amount of time, but it sets up your menu for the next dungeon. So it's worth it. You may as well do it here since it's almost the same time. Interesting fact, if your party has a dead member at the class change in the NES version, I don't think it actually class changes them. But it does, yeah, it does do it in these versions. You would actually have to you have to go to a town, revive the character, and then go back. Now that might be me misremembering as a kid, but I swear I had an unupgraded character at one point. With upgraded character.
Seems like something a NES version would do.
If the party member's not alive, then get an upgrade. So Starcrawl is now picking up his spells.
In's going to be heading into Sunken Shrine.
Yeah. So Sunken Shrine is under the ocean, and there is a, in Final Fantasy fashion, a very strange way to survive underwater. It's just like what looks to be a barrel, but it's actually a submarine. It totally looks like a really rickety submarine, and definitely not big enough for the party. Same problem that FF6 has. find one little rebreather, and it's all goes downhill from there.
There's always those little tidbits. Like, I mean, one big tidbit for me that I've always noticed is when you get an encounter on the ocean and you run away, you're still on your ship. Where are you running to?
Yeah, I mean, some versions of this game show the enemies in like the water and you on your boat.
Yeah.
So like that's basically what it's supposed to be. So you're basically like, now then that just opens up the question of how is the warrior, like, and the thief actually doing anything? But we are in a world where there are giant like monsters sucking up the energy of the earth. It's like the same thing as like, why do we question things like that when like this other thing happens? Like in Final Fantasy X, everyone always questions why Yuna can walk on water, but not why she can summon giant mystical beasts out of literally nowhere.
Looks like In's getting a pretty good sunken shrine here. No unrunnables.
Yeah, 105 is okay considering some of the mishaps and taking it very slowly. What type of promotion opportunity is there for floor inspector? Why do I not... I feel like I looked away from chat and now I don't understand that.
Yeah, same. It picked up the Rosetta Stone there, and he'll be teleporting down back to the floor that the dungeon started in.
That's basically the biggest time save for teleport, is we don't have to deal with inheritance. Oh, this is an interesting tidbit. Water elementals are unrunnable unless there's a water Naga in the party. Then they're runnable. And this stays true for the entire dungeon. Like, for the entire game. Like, you can get water elemental, water Naga in the final dungeon, and water elementals in the final dungeon.
Yeah, I believe all the elementals are unrunnable except for air elementals, which have a chance.
Oh, I get floor inspector because they're on the floor. Poor Bill. No, it's not Bill. It's Dan. Poor Dan.
In's gonna be coming up on one of the final equipment glitches, the big one for survival vests, which will improve their running even further.
Yeah, the survival vest is it's like it drops out Trinodia as well. It's the best armor in the game, I think. That would be great if that actually is. Now that I think about it, I think that you do get a class upgrade because I've seen Dan be a wizard. So that would actually be kind of funny if all of the sprites were reversed for death. They're on their back.
So just a little tidbit before this encounter here, or before this equipment glitch here. The front of the chest and the left side of the chest both have spike tiles, but the right side doesn't. So
yeah,
it's faster to run around the right side than it is to go into a spike tile.
The one on the one south is Sahagins always, so definitely never touch that. But the left one is sharks, which are okay to run from. So like, I misread the notes for a while and thought it was telling me to take the left tile. I just thought I was unlucky.
I thought that I've been doing that forever. It looks like Starcrawl is trying to run away from Hellhound Ogre Mages. That's actually an unrunnable combat.
Yeah, only that combination. Ogre Mages without Hellhounds. You can get like Ogre Mages and I think it's Hyenodons in this dungeon, and those are actually runnable but look identical. It is very disorienting, honestly. Starcrawl has to go to the has to now grab the fairy bottle. Also, I think we pointed out way earlier, but we didn't point out when IndDragPack was doing it. They want the Giant's bottle. Yeah, he's in the Ron Desert right now.
Yes.
He's trying to park in the Ron Desert. They want Giants bottles, which they can get from the same shop that they buy the quest item. Yeah, he is entirely lost. He's in the Ron Desert right now. The desert he's looking for is to the east. Or the west, because the world wraps, but...
No, he's just trying to go for early Mirage.
So the Mirage Tower can only be seen once you get after you get the Rosetta Stone, because you the bell chime, or the chime, the something chime, wind chime.
Yeah, it's just chime in this, I believe.
And so the chime actually gives you access to it. It lets you see it. You can't even see the dungeon without that item, or at the very least, you definitely can't enter. It exists on the world. And there it is. So like that little patch of desert that's separated, that's the patch that you.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you the caravan with the potions. It's a small Final Fantasy or Legend of Zelda reference. It's supposed to be like a potion mistress from Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm. That would make this the second Zelda reference in this. I believe in Alfheim there's a grave with something that says
in the remakes of this game they added a grave that says "Here lies Link." It's like a completely unrelated thing in the remake. Oh. Or sorry, in the original. In the original, I can't remember who it is. Fiesel and Gyre showed it off.
So Ind right now he's in Waterfall Cavern. Possibly one of the highest encounter rate dungeons of the game.
Yeah.
And it's almost only nightmares and clay golems. Clay golems are always runnable. Nightmares, now that we have survival vests, are a little easier to run from.
And Erdrit, that's right.
Mm.
Now maybe, Sid, you might know this. What is the difference between sleep and paralyzed? Because as far as I can tell, sleep is just happens less. That's the only thing I can tell. Like, sleep and paralyzed basically do the same thing. You can get sleep locked, but I've never actually seen it. Because those mummies have a terrible hit chance for it. But I guess in theory you could get sleep locked.
So the reason they're going to be going through Waterfall Cave, they're going to be picking up the Warp Cube. It allows them to, once they get to Mirage Tower, to then go to the dungeon that extends from Mirage Tower. Also here, they'll be picking up the ribbon, which they will glitch on all their characters.
Yeah, so the Rosetta Stone is actually used for two reasons. One, it causes this guy to give you that the Warp Cube, and then just self-destruct himself.
Possibly one of the saddest lines in this game. Buzzword.
Yeah, I guess the other major difference is you can't be slept after you equip the ribbon, but you can be dead, but you can't protect against paralyzed. You can still get paralocked even with the ribbon. Luckily, there's no major like undead like encounters you can get once you get the ribbon. So quite nice.
Starcrawl with that rare ice gigas.
Yeah, the ice gigas by himself is the unrunnable portion of. So this is the weirdest equipment glitch. So basically, this is the only instance of us duplicating something that we picked up. Basically, we use the ribbon to create a giant's axe, and then we use that giant's axe to make more ribbons. It's the only instance of us actually just duplicating an item we obtained normally.
Definitely the hardest menu to learn.
Yeah, just because it's very weird because you don't do that. It's also the only time we equip to the shield slot. Now, we haven't explained why. They haven't, like, what? Well, I mean, they've got another armor slot. Why not equip to the shield slot as well? Well, it's because the game will soft lock if it doesn't have an animation to play when you block. So you could, in theory, Equip stuff there and hope that you never block. It's not super rare. It's not super common to block without a shield. But it's not worth the risk at all, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the equipment switch in a nutshell. Hard to learn, but easy once you know it, and then hard to master again.
Mm.
So Starcrawl actually has one of the encounters that make the Sunken Shrine the most annoying. It's a very common encounter, and it's the Sahagin form, and it's unrunnable, and so you lose 8 to like 15 seconds every time you see it, based on when you Judgment Staff. It's really annoying. And IndDragPack is on my least favorite section of the game. It's the walk from the ship to Lefenia and then back, and it's because of Minotaur zombies.
Yeah, you can get a lot of unrunnable counters on this walk, and they just make you park so far away.
It's a really long walk, and the Minotaur zombies are unrunnable, and they are common. It's the second instance of a common encounter being unrunnable. The first instance being the Sunken Shrine and the Sahagins. Well, the combination of Sahagins, ghosts, and elementals being making it very common. Yeah, well, they're both kind of IndDragPack's just getting the last option, or not the last optional, the last item, and Starcrawl's going back to the enemies. I do want to remind you to follow both these runners. They're both speedrunners of Final Fantasy games. You can follow Chill Penguin as well, and myself, and make sure to follow Speed Gaming and support this channel. And thank you very much to Fecal and whoever else runs the channel for letting me restream on here for the tournament. And then you can type in !FF1 for tournament information and schedules. This is actually the last match of week 1 with the exception of a match. I think that's postponed till week 3 because that racer can't make it. Can't race until then. So this is basically the last match of week 1.
Now that I think about it, I have to reschedule my week. Thank you for saying something. Ind is now going to be heading to Mirage Tower,
Yeah,
which will lead to Sky Fortress to fight the last elemental, Tiamat.
Mirage Tower is actually the highest encounter rate in the game. It's very frustrating to go through. You can lose so much time on this split, like the Blue Dragon and the Watt to Lefenia. So the Wind Chime and the Blue Dragon are separated by splits just because of how bad the encounters are. I didn't know that about this SNES Superstars Marathon, so that's cool to know. Thank you, Nightbot. Yeah, this channel is where pretty much all the FF1 restreaming is going to happen, and as well as other tournaments. So if you just like speedrunning and you're just here by accident, you should follow.
Yeah, it's always great for tournaments.
The nice thing about Mirage Tower Flying Fortress is, other than floor 5, it's really, really safe. It's just annoying because there's no strategy to it.
I'm already, myself, I'm getting hyped for Warmech.
Well, I mean, it's very rare. We've seen, I think, one Warmech in the tournament. The only encounter that still hasn't been seen is T-Rex. And T-Rex is very, very rare because it appears only in the desert with Mirage Tower, as well as the forest just when you get off of the boat, or when you get off of your ship to the east of the Mirage Desert.
Flying Fortress itself, if you know the route, it's a pretty simple short dungeon.
Yeah.
Except for it, yeah.
Yeah, its entire purpose is actually to be like your late game loot horde. Because like you have to do a lot to get here. Basically need to do everything, and it even that gives you the Excalibur, the item you need to get Excalibur, which in a casual playthrough is very useful. But in this playthrough is fine. This is the only somewhat confusing floor. It feels like a maze, but you just have to go left, right, or no, you have to go like left, up, or down, right, or up, right. You have to take two directions that are opposite of each other. Like, you have to take two horizontal and two vertical directions. As long as you don't double back on yourself.
Sigma, that's pretty impressive with two T-Rexes in one run. even in a practice run, that would be outrageous.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he forgot the exclamation mark. I didn't want FF1. So Kraken, or not Kraken, well, they're an entire elemental apart. Right now, IndDragons is looking at getting about a, if he has a decent Chaos Shrine and Tiamat doesn't troll him here, he's gonna have about a 133 at this point, which is very good.
Tiamat, cast Thundara, I believe, right? That's the spell it is?
Yes, because water doesn't exist in it. The water crystal takes, like, the air crystal. Like, they both cast, I think they both cast Thundara, both Tiamat and Kraken. Actually, Tiamat can cast, like, a lot of spells, or sorry, both Tiamat and Kraken cast a lot of spells. Oh no, this one is substantially different.
So it's all, yeah. You go.
Yeah, so the major difference is basically if you watch the entire FF1 run, every time Fiesel and Gyre would say, well, X is broken and doesn't function the way it's supposed to. That's all fixed. Oh, Tiamat is Thunderbolt, that's right.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Which is a skill. Their bosses have like skill magic is what we call it. So basically beyond that, the PSP version itself is based off of the GBA and PlayStation remakes, with one added dungeon, which added a lot of equipment. The PSP version also introduced a very interesting new glitch. The other two versions of this game are relatively glitchless. Like NES and PSP are the only versions that are kind of glitchy. A newbie should be looking forward to. Unfortunately, or should be looking towards. Unfortunately, not anymore in this run. They've already done all of the glitching they're gonna do in this run. But if you didn't notice, Tiamat went down in one round. Same with Kraken. So, and they barely took any damage. So basically, what this game has is an equipment glitch. The total run is an hour and a half. Like IndDragon is about 10 minutes from finishing. From this point, they have a weapon from the bonus dungeon that happened before. Oh yeah, you got reboots right.
Yeah,
you will still get to see the goldenrod glitched on. And Drayden was like, "Wait, oh, I'm healed, Kristen. That's abnormal." So the equipment glitch allows us to basically in this, I guess I'll explain it again. Purple worms are unrunnable. Basically, long story short, weapon and armors share have RAM values in memory. A glitch lets us take the weapon or armor ID of one and take the corresponding weapon or armor ID of the other and equip it on to the Ron slots as well as the Ron characters. So we get the best sword in the game and we equip it onto everyone. And as you can see right here, our warrior dealt 1200 damage with 5 hits. So, if you've ever played this game before, 1200 is more than most bosses have. It's a very, very good run. I recommend you, if you're not following Speed Gaming, to follow this channel. There will be a lot more of this tournament in the coming 2, 3, 4 weeks.
And be sure to check out the speedrun.com page for this. There are some really helpful videos on how to get started if you are interested.
Oh yeah, it also doesn't consume the original item or equip it. It would consume the new piece. Oh, preemptive. No, it's a preemptive IndDragon. Why? Oh, does he just really want the experience because he's so far ahead? I guess so. Actually, that actually made sense. So dragons give a absolutely ridiculous amount of experience. Game. All of the dragons and the purple worm. So I think he just wanted. Oh, he's gonna run away from this one? Yeah, he legitimately did that just for the experience. That's actually pretty smart when you're ahead.
Yeah, also his black mage's health is rolled pretty low right now.
Yeah, which, I mean, he sort of fits with the Giants taunts he bought. They fixed all the broken stuff, and they added one really broken thing. It just so happens that, like, the other remakes are fine. The other remakes don't have this bug, and are relatively glitch-free. It's just this version has a very cool and interesting bug for speedrunners. IndDrag's actually had a very, very good luck on his encounters. And that's only a 2-encounter lich floor.
That's awesome.
Oh, Flare! He didn't kill it in one round. Oh, okay, good. Like, Flare generally won't kill, but it can high roll and even kill a Matt's health knight at this point. The other day I actually survived Flare into Sleepra, into attack, into kill and lich. Like, it was ridiculous.
I might have just reset it after Flare. That's outrageous.
I mean, I had Chrono Kirby, like, I think at Tiamat.
Oh, man.
And I think my last save was, maybe I saved just before Lich? I don't know. Yeah, it was a little crazy.
I often thought that too, Baskara, if they intentionally put that in here, like Super Mario has done with Infinite Lives since they started remaking. It's kind of funny.
Oh, Starcrawl got locked in. The blue guy got aggressive today. He was like 3 tiles north there. I've never seen blue guy do that there. Team at 1 and he did Blizzara? No, for me that was it was Tiamat cast and Flare. Oh right, Lich 1. Was it Lich 1? You're right, yeah, it was Lich 1 cast in Blizzara, Sleepra, attack, and survive. Also, IndDragon had like a 30-second Marilith floor, I'd like to point out. He's already on his that was like a fast floor.
He's having a really good Chaos Shrine.
Like, actually just like an insane Chaos Shrine.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get trolled on this floor further, could PB? No, probably not. He's got a 131.59. So, or 131. No, it's not possible.
Yeah, I know.
Especially since, for whatever reason, he Judgment Staffed that encounter? When he can run away from it?
I'm sure at this point he's aware of his lead, especially if he's looking at his own chat.
Yeah. Well, he's probably just
So-
watching Starcrawl.
True. So he can take his time. Maybe trying to boost his Black Mage's level as much as he can.
Yeah, that Black Mage health growth is abysmal. Right, for Suede? I think he's just doing it for safety, honestly. Can't PB anymore. Honestly, if you play this entire run, like, faster, like, less safe, probably could. He probably could have PB'd.
I think one thing we didn't address, I'm seeing Starcrawl right now. When it comes to encounters that are unrunnable, it's always faster to Judgment Staff when there are 4 or more enemies. When there are 3 enemies, Judgment Staff and attacking are the same speed, and below 3 enemies, just attacking is faster. There he opted to attack 4 Minotaur zombies. It's not that much slower, but
It's like a second, and it's only better if you like straight up aren't as good as menu, or if you're really fast at menuing. Well, poor Black Mage. So what we did here is we haste the ninja to basically secure us 2-round. Tiamat 2 can kill the party even at 400 HP. It's very, very rare, but it can happen. If he uses 3 AoE spells, which he can cast 3 different damage and AoE spells. He can just kill the party. But that requires you to not do that exact thing.
And coming up now is going to be the final equipment glitch, then Chaos.
Yeah, as well as some health management.
Oh, it seems like Starcrawl was disconnected from the SRL server. I don't know if you have your notifications on. Yeah,
Fine. Still live, so fine. If I have to, I'll force stun Starcrawl. Because I'm an SRL mod, so I can do that. What happened on Starcrawl's screen? What was that?
This is the Minotaur zombie close-up.
Did anyone else see that? Where there was like an encounter on screen and then it like encountered again?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Tyrannosaur.
Wait, was that Tyrannosaur?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, T-Rex.
It was really weird, but it was there.
Wait, was that T-Rex instead of miniature zombies? I was just really confused. Wait, what's happening on Starcrawl's screen? What the fuck? What?
What is this? It seems like for some reason the game
his loaded screen for battles is currently Minotaur zombies. Actually, his background screen for everything is Minotaur zombies. Did you see that in the menu?
That's so weird.
Okay, black screens are now Minotaur zombies. Yeah,
You can never escape.
the black screen effect. The black screen is now Minotaur zombies. Oh no! I missed something, but IndDragPack must have died to Chaos. Must have had like a really bad roll on Chaos.
Yeah, I
Is that
missed
real?
that too.
I think
was
that's
watching
real.
the other-
I think it seems like an emulator bug.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an emulator bug or a extremely rare like bug that nobody's seen before.
Kind of like the sound bug. That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah, it looks like
Minotaur zombies.
what face?
It's an emu bug. All right. chroma keyed Minotaur zombies
I
in
mean,
the
that would
background.
be impressive. That would be impressive to do mid-race, especially since it has a damage number. It definitely seems like the emulator has just replaced a black screen with that.
It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical.
Oh, I guess we should talk about the boss though.
The chaos, right?
Yeah. So
right.
so chaos has two patterns you can go through. You can cast skill magic or you can cast regular magic. Skill magic follows a cycle of a fire spell, water spell, wind spell, and then earthquake, which is a free turn. The strategy here is to haste everyone. And that's basically what he's doing. The magic spell, he seems to actually be on what's called a physical cycle, which is where he'll physical attack more often than anything, which is the best cycle.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Each skill magic takes like 7 to 10 seconds to cast. It's like extremely long animations and deals like an absolutely absurd amount of damage to them. The magic cycle, which is what he hasn't cast his skill yet, is Blizzara, Slowra, Thanaga, and then Curaja, which is Cure 4. And if you cast Cure 4, it's 9,999 HP. Oh yeah, I guess in the physical, then he can crit your white mage, and then you're screwed. And yeah, that's the race done. Starcrawl is still finished. So we'll still walk him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, he is he's muted and deafened.
You watch Starcrawl's really strange screen for the next like 12 to 15 minutes.
It's honestly one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, even in the background there.
Yeah, it's just so odd.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna be fighting Tiamat, and then we'll be going back through the dungeon
For the refights, as in all good classic games, always refights. Leave Tiamat alone.
What hack? I don't know. I don't know what Starcrawl did, but
But
it's funny.
he's seeing some Minotaur zombies every time he hits a black screen.
Or just the back screen for this.
Mhm.
So since he's gonna be redoubling, I'd like to point out that if you're not interested in the Switch and you're currently watching this Final Fantasy 1, then you don't truly like RPG. That's all I have to say. If you've actually looked at the Switch lineup, it's insane.
It really
RPG-wise.
is. It's gorgeous.
There are more RPGs on this announced for the Switch than currently exist on the Wii U.
Yeah, there were no war mechs, but we did get a T-Rex.
Yeah, we got a T-Rex. Yeah, that screen happens every time. Yeah, the T-Rex bugged his game out.
Too bad it wasn't the T-Rex that got locked in his black screen. Starcrawl.
Oh.
Yeah, if Starcrawl has to do anything for this upcoming week, it'll be to
learn.
memorize the map.
Yeah.
Preemptive on White Dragons again. Both runners. Opting to kill them.
Yeah. There he is. He's going the right way now. He definitely needs to memorize the maps. He's has not been practicing this run as much as you'd expect. And I hesitate to say poor Starcrawl. He hasn't been unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the right way. Like this tournament is for all skill levels, but I won't say like poor Starcrawl. I mean, you get a bad time if you don't like know the way. Like how it's supposed to, like he should have gone up in the middle. You got an ambush here, so see, that's bad luck. Getting ambushed by Black Knights. It's just lawn. It's not dangerous or anything. You don't die from it. It's a lot. Like, and there's no shame in having the maps open with like the drawn out maps. I did that
Yeah,
when I
absolutely.
started running. I drew out the maps. So.
I still do that for airship routes.
Now now he's on to the more straightforward. Well, I shouldn't say that. airless floors, and it's deadly straightforward if you don't know where you're going. So,
But as in the comment earlier, this is where we use the loot here
yeah,
for a nice, what, like 10-second animation.
yeah.
Play a nice little diddly.
Well, I mean, it's not like this game. Like, I'm probably on par with like Double, Sigma, Kirby, Forsyth, Nicky, etc. And I'm 15th right now. Oh no, 16th right now. Batman got a point. So
Where
it's
am I
like,
on there, right?
You're still 13th. For 131. They haven't updated.
It's still under review. Which is totally understandable, 100%.
Yeah. It honestly, it's like, let's be real here. Your time's insane. It could legitimately be a could have legitimately had some bug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that. For people who
Yeah.
don't know, Chill Penguin got a run that was about it was 3 minutes better than world record, or it was like 4 minutes better than world record almost. It was like it's 6 minutes better than like really good time.
Mhm.
And the thing is that it's on Japanese version with English text.
Yeah, it's on the Japanese version
and
with
so
English text.
and it's just got like 0 encounter, like for large portions.
Yeah, it has like 1/3 the encounter rate.
Yeah, so it's gonna take a little bit to review, as most world records that smash world records tend to be in all communities.
Absolutely. See, the problem here with Ice Gigas Winter Wolves that we just saw is the Black Mage's Judgment Staff won't kill them.
Yeah, only the White Mage has enough magic power at this point to Judgment Staff a lot of these encounters.
Yeah, he is doing a great job. He's doing the best to his extent.
Yeah, the White Dragons are runnable, it's just they're hard to run from.
And dangerous.
Yeah, the ice, well, they're less dangerous here.
Yeah, true. There.
He is getting unlucky.
I recently did a practice run yesterday on Japanese version in Japanese, and could not figure out what the right spells were in the shops. It was pretty much just killed it.
So he, oh no, yeah, there he is. Figured it out.
Have we seen an Iron Golem yet?
Yes, an Iron Dome has been. It was like the other day.
The Minotaur Zombie black screen will never get old.
And here's the Lich refight, the most dangerous refight now that we have Ribbon. The run used to not have Ribbon, so Tiamat 2 could just cast Scourge on turn 1 and kill you. And there's nothing you could do about it. So, because you didn't have access to Ribbon yet. Or at all. It's good that we that we did a bunch of the rerouting that ended up being faster and for a better race. It would not have been a good race category if we literally just, if we just like died to Tiamat over and over again. Poor Chrono Kirby. Oh. There's Lich 2 and nothing for this? What? Yeah, I know. Lich 2 is the most dangerous now. It used to be Tiamat with Sturge. Yeah, you can cut your stream if you want. That's fine.
Starcrawl has some pretty sizable health on his Black Mage.
Well, I mean, he's killed a lot more in count.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started running this, I refought Merilith there at least 3. For some reason, I just couldn't get out of the habit of holding down after an encounter. What it was.
Okay.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Minotaur zombies before Chaos.
Oh. I can't wait to get some more sleep now that my internet's back. Lost the entire... Right, okay, so he's going to attack here, and then he's going to haste, like IndDragon did on the Tiamat. A Minotaur zombie's just saying hi.
Giving us that constant reminder that you can't run from them.
Hey guys! Get away from me! Okay, so it looks like he did the menu right. He is saving, which is good. And on Chaos, let's see what kind of cycle he gets.
Actually, I'm not sure if he full ethered. He full ethered, then used Hilara to heal his party, but didn't ether again.
That could be bad. How does the Golden Staff help here? Plus 15 magic?
It boosts your Hilara just enough.
Something like that. It's that with the Lordly Robes is enough to make Hilara stronger than a base Hilaga, which is where the majority of the time save comes from. Instead of like grinding into level 33, we do a dungeon very quickly. And get some equipment to glitch on. We actually get both pieces of White Mage equipment from the same dungeon, as it turns out. Healing Rod turns into Lordly Robes, and the Gauntlet turns into Golden Staff. Yeah, the White Mage just isn't dealing enough damage in this fight, and you need healing, otherwise you die. Because you can't tell, guy hits really hard. He also did a risky strat where he hasn't Giant's Tonic.
Giant Sonics, yeah.
Yeah, but that's very risky, because if he casts Tsunami, that Black Mage is very dead. And honestly, that thief, that ninja's in range of dying to back-to-back Tsunami Cyclone. He might just die to Tsunami. Yeah. And since he didn't ether, he's really low on HP. Like, he's gonna die here. Ooh. Yeah, this is not good. He should be spending time... Now that he's seen Cyclone, what he should do is he should cast Phoenix down on the Thief. Not Giant Sonicin is a major mistake. Yeah, so the reason why he would want to... The reason why he would want to revive here is because Earthquake is a possibility, and that's just a free turn. And he needs that extra damage, and he needs to ether, because he can't heal now. Like, this next turn, he can't actually heal. Like, he needs to be reviving this turn.
Yeah, it'll take
No,
way too
no,
many turns
you
with
need
just
to
the word.
ether. This is gonna, yeah, he's gonna die here.
Yeah, he's gonna have to reload.
But he really needs to ether or revive. Like, should be Phoenix down in. What's he gonna
White
choose?
Mage is hitting.
It's way too late. He's gonna get... Oh, he's not getting punished. Chaos is being very nice to him. Now, Chaos could actually just wipe... No, you went on his skill cycle. I guess that was a donation. I guess that was a follower alert. Oh, yeah. And,
I'm helping White
No.
Mage.
yeah, so... That's not how you play that fight. I don't know if he is Giant Sonic. I didn't see. If he doesn't...
I didn't see either.
He didn't ether again!
If he does not have Giant Tonics, he'll have to hope for some physicals. And not on... just on Warrior, really.
He's still not Giant Sonic in?
Yeah, I honestly don't know if he picked them up.
I mean, oh, do you just use Giant Sonic? Hey, he remembered. Yes, now we have a chance. Right, that's just Chaos was being extremely nice, honestly. I mean, use it on the ninja's fine. If you only have one and you have a low health ninja, I'd use it on the ninja. Like, Black Mage dying. Black Mage survived! Like, I'll be completely honest, if he Giants taunt in the first race on turn 1, in the first round on turn 1, he wouldn't have lost both the Black Mage and the Ninja. So, like, Chaos was actually being pretty nice, like, with his pattern. Well, I think that if Ninja gets the haste off, if Ninja gets haste, yeah, there he goes. That was actually like a really fast Chaos kill there.
Yeah.
Because he got all of his haste off. Chaos was fairly nice. And that was like a 6 or 7 turn Chaos, which is pretty good. So that is the end of that. Sorry?
It was an entertaining race, nonetheless.
Yeah. We did get to see some neat things.
We got to see a T-Rex.
We did. Yeah, so that's the tournament. Basically, make sure that you follow this channel to get more FF1, as well as other speedrunning events. There won't be any more FF1 until tomorrow. This is the final match of this week. We will be starting week 2 of the brackets next week. And then week 3 will happen, and then we'll be into the actual double elimination bracket where 16 people will compete. Both me and Hate Chill Penguin are in the tournament as well. You can follow us basically with... You can follow anybody whose name is on screen by typing in twitch.tv and then insert in the name. Make sure that you follow and support Speed Gaming. I want to thank Feasel and whoever else runs Speed Gaming. I actually don't know. I believe it's mostly Feasel for letting me restream, and the tournament organizers for putting this together. Cruel, Kirby, Double Drop, etc. And I think for the most part, that's it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna send you guys to what's BSG, which is Cruel, one of the organizers, runs this. Same with Jasper, another helper in the community. Basically, it's a speedrunning tournament that raises money for, or sorry, a speedrunning event that raises money for I couldn't remember your name, Leonis. I can't remember all the organizers and admins. So they're doing a speedrunning tournament for, I think it's a cancer organization in like Norway or something like that. I can't remember, but I'm gonna host them anyway, and you can say hello from Speed Gaming.